Would you want to hear Maffew first to see if he sounds good? You sound good?
Always.
Good? All right. All right, Pixel Brain's got a MAGFest exclusive here. I'm Maffew, and standing next to me is Maffew of Botchamania fame.
That's right. I've got a name tag to prove it and everything.
What's that?
I've got a name tag to prove it and everything.
So, we're here at MAGFest. For those of you that may not be caught up to speed with Botchamania, Maffew, how about you tell everyone that's watching what exactly Botchamania is?
This is always fun explaining to normal people what this is, because they always look to be confused. I show the lowlights of wrestling set to video game music. Yes, that's a thing in 2015. So, because there's several things men like, you know, there's cheese, there's turkey, there's pot belly, and two of those things are wrestling and video games. So combine the two, voila. It's a niche of a niche of a niche of a niche, like the human centipede of niches, if you will. And yet it works, because everywhere else in the world, I am this very unimpressive specimen of a human being. Come to MAGFest, and I'm Elvis in '78, so it's wonderful to be here.
It is an award-winning formula, the video game music and the lowlights of wrestling, as you put it. So when did you decide, like, you know what, I'm going to make a YouTube channel of just, for lack of a better words, wrestlers things up?
It's weird because people always ask me that question as if I had this dream one day where the ghost of Andre the Giant was like, Mario! And he said some other things that I didn't understand because, you know, he's Andre the Giant. It just came about. I was like, oh, this will be a good idea, maybe. So some other similar videos on YouTube already, but it hit me. It's like, wait, this is YouTube. You can make this how you want. That's the idea. There's not like you have to submit it to someone and they say, yeah, well, you know, less Vampiro, you know, that type of thing or whatever. It's like, oh, well, I was getting into, I don't know if there's a term yet, MAGFest bands, whatever, like Arm Cannon, Mega Driver and so on and so forth, the mini bosses. And I thought, well, you know, rather than use like a rock band or metal band from the early 2000s, you know, Creed or Disturbed, and for the 800th time, I thought I'd use Super Mario Brothers 2 or something. And to begin with, now it's accepted because it's been around for so long, that like, yay, video game music. And to begin with, lots of people, you know, the YouTube comments back when that was, you know, an important form of conversation, were half the comments were, what is this bleep bloop crap? I was like, what the hell is this? And then it's like, yeah, and then progressed. I mean, now it's, oh, I wonder what bleep bloop crap will be in the next video, you know. I hope he does, you know, Fatal Fury or something. So it's great. So it's become a long time to get accustomed to. It's like Stockholm Syndrome. So.
Right. So like, you have that going for you, and I've got to ask. I've got to ask though. So you mentioned like a lot of your content is from the WWE, and a lot of your content is video game music. How do you work around the copyrights, or you know, do you even work around the copyrights?
I have the philosophy of I throw a video at YouTube, if it gets rejected, I take it somewhere else. Really. But then people always ask me, it's like, hang on, Maffew, this video has raw footage, yeah, and that got taken down. Yeah. The next video has highlights from the pay-per-view that was just on, and that's still on YouTube. How does that work? And I went, don't look at me. You think I make these rules? Do you think I like to have these videos taken down? It's like when people always send me tweets saying, oh, Maffew, the video's not available for mobile devices. Can you make it able? I'm like, do you think I went and said, you know what, no one can look at this on mobile devices? No, it's YouTube. It's companies like, no, this is stuff that we own. So it's this weird thing because everyone's always asking me like, oh, are you worried about getting sued? You know, I'm like, no one has ever been sued for uploading something onto YouTube because legally YouTube owns the videos that are on YouTube. Regardless if there's WWE footage or TNA footage, that's YouTube's video. And YouTube has been sued. And I don't care, whatever, they're a huge entity. But it's them fighting the big leagues. It's like, you know, cops don't go after people buying drugs, they go after the drug dealers. Great analogy, but
what do you got there?
I got this from Potbelly. I love America because you can get, for $1, you can get a dill pickle that is bigger than some people in England's houses. Look at the size of that. This fucking thing is so big, it has homeless people underneath it. Like, look at it. I'm happy about that. What was your question?
Well, my question was, you know, we're at the Music and Gaming Festival, and your form of entertainment is primarily wrestling. So what does Botchamania bring to MAGFest that, you know where I'm going with this, because we have lovely B-roll footage of it from last night.
We do. Things like MAGFest, it is predominantly music and gaming, as you said. I would say there's a very small ratio of people who go to MAGFest are wrestling fans. However, as you may have noticed here, MAGFest is fucking enormous. Even bigger than this dill pickle. We call them gherkins in the UK. This gherkin. So there's a lot of wrestling fans now. Not in terms of, I don't know, like in terms of Brental Floss's fans, for example. Brental Floss up here, but there's still, to me, a lot, like 100 or so at a convention is a lot of people to me, because they all speak and say hello to you, so it's like, oh, nice. So what I bring to this is the No Mercy tournament, because, not the debate, because we could go on for a while, but in my opinion, and the opinions of other people's, the best wrestling game that has ever been made for any video game console is No Mercy for the Nintendo 64. It would take way too long to go into why it is, because we're on a time limit here.
I understand completely. It's my favorite. It's my favorite, totally.
He said it as well. 2 maths agree, so just negating your opinion. So I've done No Mercy tournaments beforehand. Sometimes there's been a huge turnout, and sometimes there's been 12 people. Like at 8.5, there was like we barely had a tournament. But it was like, oh, well, whatever, you know, it's here for fun. So if there are things to do at MAGFest, fine. But sometimes it's with timing, because as you've looked at the schedule, there's so much stuff happening. The only way to really get the full extent of MAGFest is to do a MAGFest twice, you know, and go back and do the stuff you missed. So sadly, we don't have the opportunity. So this time we were quite fortunate that the other thing that we were competing against was really the Proto Men, and they take a long time to get set up. So a lot of people went, they're still doing the sound check, I can watch the tournament instead. Don't watch them. So thanks, Proto Men. And holy shit, the biggest turnout we've ever had for the tournament. So we start off with one console. Like the whole place is submerged with just wrestling fans filling it up. So I was like, right, we're fire hazards now, brilliant. So we had to move on to 2 consoles. Still not working. All right, let's move on with the projectors. Okay, let's do that. It was so good. I almost had a heart attack, because one of the nameless MagSteph employee, Steve, managed to lose the second sign-up sheet. And so we had to go through and say, right, with a megaphone going, if we call out your name, we'll just redo the list. And people going, nod. I don't know what he's saying, but I'll nod. And then like in hour 3, they're like, my name hasn't been called out. You're like, oh, God. I did say, but apart from some teething issues, only caused by how popular it was, so oh no, boo-hoo. Yeah, people had a good time, generally speaking, so I was so happy. And Bobby Shields was there, and Bobby Shields is a real wrestler. And the thing is, he used to have like yellow stringy hair, but now he looks just like Ken Anderson. So it was just like, oh yeah, you're a real wrestler. And people going, yeah, Ken Anderson. Like, no. He's like, he just looks a shitload like him. And he was there like, do I look like him? I'm like, come on, Bobby. One expression in the Northeast, that's you can't pillock a pillock. You know you look like Ken Anderson. But yeah, it was great. He was there. He got really far in, which is great, because it's always amazing to see real wrestlers playing wrestling games and being good at it. You're like, wow, maybe it's born into the system. They're going, what would I do if I was a wrestler right now? It's like, I'd jump off the top rope. So it was there. It was great, because there's I think 3 or 4 people who must play No Mercy at a pro level. I mean, I'm not sure. I know there's like fighting game tournaments for like Evo and type. There isn't one for No Mercy. I've heard about it by now. Nowhere near that level. But there's 3 to 4 people there who take it very seriously, who were like, right. And it was some satisfaction. I played one of them and beat the shit out of him. And he was like, oh, and his friends were like, oh. But sadly, the guy who's better than him challenged me, and then he creamed me. So I was like, oh, well, universe is back and stable now, whatever. But it was great just to get all those wrestling fans together, because not everyone has the wrestling fan has the privilege of meeting up with wrestling fans on a regular basis. So, hey, it's a festival, like the furs get to meet with the furs here, the cosplayers get up with cosplayers here. So, in June, the wrestling fans get together, chant, EC, whatever they want to chant. There's a guy dressed as Macho Man, a full cape, 80s thing and all that there. The one who was in the lobby yesterday, just everyone who walked past was like, oh yeah, it's doing impressions. I'm like, yeah, let's join in this. And a security guy stopped what he was doing. He's just went, hey man, I just want to say, I'm really glad to see that you're in the Hall of Fame. And he's just like, great, I went, security guy, before you leave, you do a Macho Man? He's like, huh? It's like, do a Macho Man. And he went, oh yeah, and then went. So it's great just to see that, it's like, a lot of people and myself will go back to normal everyday jobs after this, where you have to pretend to be normal. So as wrestling fans and all the other people will be like, at least I got this out of my system for 1 year, you know. So we had more people doing the tournament than most indie shows this year. As you've seen, watch the videos, you'll know that's true. So did you enjoy the tournament?
I did. I have to actually enter these one time because I'm actually pretty decent at No Mercy. So
I keep forgetting. They go, Maffew, you need it. I'm like, oh, what now? Is there a fire alarm? Was there a bomb in the building? No, you got to play No Mercy. I'm like, oh, right, yeah, play the actual game. Right.
Who's your favorite character on No Mercy?
I'll go through a range of characters. I've got like a top, my fave 5, Booker T style. Farouk, just because, you know. But I realised last night Bradshaw's way better, and I keep on forgetting that. Perry Saturn, who some guy says, I'm going to pick Perry Saturn, Maffew, because you recommended him. I'm like, well, don't do that, because if you lose, I'll get the blame. And he went, no, that won't happen. 2 seconds later, I lost, you suck, Maffew. Crash Holly. Come on, there's something else. Just thinking of all the mid-carders in 2000. Right. Billy Gunn, because he's balanced. Because I won't pick like Austin or Kane or whatever. Right. I'll pick, yeah, mid-carder. Oh, and D'Lo Brown.
Of course.
That's it. You can't go wrong with either of them. So, who's your favorite?
Usually I go with Kurt Angle, to be honest. Or one of my created wrestlers.
No, I'm not creator.
But I'm sure those are banned. Those are banned from the tournaments, right?
You can set all the stats.
I can't bring my memory card with my own personal Matty G avatar?
Change all the like stats to like best, great wrestler. Well, no, that. Yeah, of course, yeah. Funny thing though, we borrowed a copy of No Mercy, and we had to restart one of the matches because I don't know why. It must have been some guy's fetish, so I'm not going to name who the guy's thing we borrowed. But The Rock, you can edit things on No Mercy, right? Existing wrestlers, which is actually a really good thing that they foresaw, because you can edit guys if they change or whatever, so update it. Pointless now, like in 2015, but still a good idea. But someone had changed Rock from whatever weight he is to super heavyweight, so he was a big fat dude, which meant that the moves are different, you have to slam them differently and all that, and it was just like, oh, we have to start this, Rock's fat. It was like, what? So some guy thought, you know what, I'm gonna make Rock really fat and give him a green cap. So in hindsight, I wish we'd watched the copy of No Mercy before I started playing it, but hey, I'm not judging you, just whatever your name is. But.
So Maffew, I'll ask you a kind of a personal question. Yeah, not too personal. But since you brought it up last night.
Yeah, you're right. You're on the.
Yeah, you brought up the Sonic Adventure songs last night. I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. Your favorite Sonic the Hedgehog game, and your favorite Sonic the Hedgehog song. I mean, obviously, it's Sonic Boom is probably your favorite Sonic game, but I'll ask you.
Sonic Boom. Favorite Sonic game. It has to be Sonic 3 and Knuckles, just because to me as a kid that was equivalent to like reading Lord of the Rings to an adult, just in terms of how epic a game. I mean that word gets thrown around a lot, but you beat Sonic 3, okay, great. A year later, Knuckles comes, slotted in, you beat that, you go back and beat them both, then you go back and get all the rings, and you're there like, because this is back in the day when there was no guides or whatever, you'd read how to do it, but there was no visual proof of this work, so it was half the, right, well, I've got everything in the game, let's beat the Death Egg, which is no mean feat if it's to a kid, man, fuck that level. I think like, oh, and if it happens, there's that slight pause, as that Doomsday Zone appears, you're like, oh my fucking hell! Oh my.
No, it scared the crap out of me too as a kid. Not only that, but not only Doomsday Zone, but that scared me.
Yeah. So, yeah, that for that alone. I mean, music, dude. Can I pick 3? Yeah,
sure. Your top 3. Your top 3.
I'm going to pick 3. 1, because it's right in my head, and I don't want this to be the last answer. The 3D ones, you know, the lesser Sonics. I am the Eggman. That's what I am.
I am the Eggman.
That's what I am. It's because there's so songs that are so cheesy to go all the way around and become brilliant, like Genghis Khan, that type of stuff. Eurovision music, it's like, yeah, that song is so good. And I've got that song in my head now. I'm trying to think of other Sonic songs. Toot Toot Sonic Warrior from Sonic CD.
Of course.
Yeah, Toot Toot Sonic Warrior, Toot Toot. I'm not sure it's supposed to be Toot Toot, but I love it. It's way better than Sonic Boom, in my opinion.
It is Toot Toot, yeah.
It's actually Toot Toot.
It actually is. Someone thought that would be cool to say Toot Toot.
And it's such a good song.
Sonic Warrior, Toot Toot Sonic Warrior. You always need a day. You got the power to save the day.
And pick a 2D one. Oh fuck. Really, anyone I pick is like, yeah, it's a great song. So,
Any Knuckles rap, right?
no. I know. This is so bad. I was like such a big Sonic fan, and I can't remember the name of it. But the second level on Sonic 1. Do 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 do. Thank you. Isn't it very marbly though? That always throws me off.
Right, yeah.
It's more like a labyrinth, but that's also a thing.
That comes later in the game.
Marble Zone. That is wow. What a tune. Like, how's it go? Yeah, that one.
That's the one. So, Maffew, I just want to thank you again. I'm going to let you finish eating your, what was it, gherkin? Right?
No, this does not deserve to be called a gherkin. You fucked up cheese and you fucked up gherkins, America. Fuck you and your festivals. No, thank you very much for having me, sir.
Thank you.
To be spoken to. Bye. Whichever.
Of course.
I'll shake your hand, but it's covered in It's covered in corn syrup.
Why don't you tell everyone where you can find all things Botchamania?
Google's a good choice. Botchamania.com is the best thing because the videos get taken down on different sites like YouTube, so that's the hub, as it were, to find things. I'm on Twitter, Maffew Gregg, that's like Jeff Jarrett style. That's MAFF, haha, EWGREGG, haha. There's a Botchamania Facebook as well, which just hit 50,000 likes, which I'm probably happy with. And that's really it. I have a Patreon, El Patron Del Rio. If you like to support it, it's fine. If you don't, it's fine. Really, the amount of love I get shown at things like this just makes you love everybody. So if you know, I'm happy that people that support me already, really fucking hell, wow, Jesus. Like I said, Elvis in 78, and same weight as well. So that's it. Kind of thing I can plug of yours now.
Pixel Brain. We're Pixel Brain Productions.
Pixel Brain Zone, you know, like Sonic 1, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like Scrap Brain.
Yeah, Pixel Brain Productions, and this has been Matt. Isn't he great? Up, that way, down, it's all there.
Thanks for watching, everybody.